The NWFL, that's the Nigerian Women Premier Football League champions, who have arrived in Burkina Faso ahead of the 2026 WAFU-B Women's Champions League qualifiers. Now, the Benin City-based side, led by standing technical advisor Kennedy Boboye and coach Gabriel Benson, will compete in Group B alongside defending champions ASEC Mimosas of Côte d'Ivoire, Ampem Darkoa of Ghana, AS GNN of Niger Republic. Now, Edo Queens opened their campaign against AS GNN on Sunday, August 23rd, before facing ASEC Mimosas on Thursday, 27th of August. They conclude the group stage against Ampem Darkoa on Sunday, August 30th. Now, the two-time NWFL champions previously won the WAFU-B qualifiers in 2024 and will be aiming to reclaim the regional title and secure another Continental campaign. Now, joining us to preview the team, Edo Queens, and what they hope to bring to the WAFU-B qualifiers is a sports writer, of course, for ACLSports.com. Amara Obah joins us this morning. Amara, good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining.
Good morning, Favor. Good to be back here again. Let's talk about Edo Queens.
Yes, of course, Edo Queens. Quite interesting when we got the news that the team will be led by Coach Kennedy Boboye. No thanks to their coach, I think Blackstone, who is now with the national team camp in Abuja. First, do you think that the team is ready? Yes, they've won the WAFU-B Cup qualifiers before. How much would that previous experience help them as they begin their campaign against Burkina Faso? Have they recruited well to be able to represent the country and get the ticket to the Champions League?
Well, they've been here before, even though it was under Moses Azuku as a coach, who is currently the coach of the under-20s women's national team. That is why he is absent from duty for the club side, because the FIFA Under-20 World Cup is kicking off in a few years, 14 days away from now. So I understand why they have to bring in a standing coach. And then Boboye also is used to the system, knowing as it's also an Edo side, or Benin-based side, and talking about Edo Queens. But for Edo Queens themselves, a couple of players that have won the WAFU-B last time are still in the team. Players like Esther Moses also has been on the side for Edo Queens, and she and the MMSN in the last 2024 edition of this cup were fantastic for them, going all the way to qualifying for the CAF Champions League and eventually finishing fourth in that particular one. So yeah, they're used to the system. A couple of players probably would have, educated the younger ones coming into the system about how difficult and how important this tournament is for them. Recruitment-wise, yes, they've brought in some very promising players like Oluwakemi Adewi, who was the NWFL player of the season when she was playing for Robo Queens. They're a very young, promising attacker. Did so well for the under-17 side and beat to qualifying for the FIFA Under-17 World Cup in Morocco later this year. They've also had the services of Atume Doso, who was the top goal scorer last season for Edo Queens. So she's used to the system already. They call the players there, yes, even though they have some new recruits, they call the players they have played with this side for at least the past 2 seasons. So yes, squad-wise, I think they're ready. When it comes to playing, the teams that are playing against they're probably going to face familiar folks, because it's not like newly. For the first game against AS GNN, they are used to this team. They won them in their first game in the last edition they won in 2024. So I think it's for them, they are probably in good hands. It's just for them not to underestimate the team and probably score the goals they need, because the next 2 games is going to be very, very crucial for them, because against the defending champions, ASEC Mimosas, who went all the way to the final against AS FAR in the CAF Champions League. And then there's Ampem Darkoa, who has won the title and finished in finals in the last 2 editions of this tournament. So very big and very important group for them. But then kicking off the start against AS GNN, 3 points is crucial for Edo Queens.
All right. You've talked about the teams and the fact that, they are familiar foes. When you look at Ampem Darkoa, it's not the first time they've represented the Ghana Women Premier League. There's AS GNN also in the mix. Edo Queens, of course, we know blends of experienced players with young talents, including former Nigerian under-17 players. But I'm a bit critical as to how Kennedy Boboye, who, yes, is an experienced coach, has won the league and male football in Nigeria with Plateau United, Aqua United, but this is women's football. Will he have the patience? I mean, we see coaches exhibit patience, a level of patience when it comes to women's football. White Ogbonda, Moses Aduku, Blackstone, amongst others. Do you think he has the right ingredients to push these girls towards securing the ticket when it comes to women's football? Kennedy Boboye.
Well, you mentioned already how his expert has been in terms of football wise. Yes, it's different because it was men's football and this is women's football. But I think even though Aduku is absent from the team, I'm very sure that he's going to be very, very, very close to Boboye in giving him instructions. And even though he's not present, I'm sure he's probably present in terms of probably giving him instructions on things to do. Subsequently, before the games and even during the games, I'm sure watching the side from home, wherever he is, or from Abuja, where they're currently in camp. So yes, it's a different ball game when you're coaching the women's team in terms of patience, in terms of knowing the right players to apply, especially the fact that he's just coming into the side just a few weeks into this tournament. So, but I think it's something that Edo Queens anticipated because they know when it's going to start, the WAFU-B will start. They know when the World Cup is going to start for the 20s. So I'm sure that they probably have arranged for this to take place because of Musa Daduku's commitment to national teams. So yes, a different ball game, but I think he has all it takes to make sure the team succeed there. Because for them, anything less than winning the title is probably a failure, in my opinion. Because they've been there before, they've won it, they've got better players now, in my opinion. Yes, they've got better players in terms of individual quality. They've got better players than last time they went to the WAFU-B. But again, I think the competition has become more stiff, more competitive than the last time they went there. So yes, he has technical know-how to do what he has to do, but then he has to probably bring in services of Musaduku while doing that.
Okay, let me bring in Baby Dekpo Popola in. Baby Dekpo is back with us. Baby Dekpo, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
All right, welcome back. It's women's football right now. Edo Queens in the mix. Yeah. We've had Edo Queens in the past, Bayelsa Queens in the past, Rivers Angels in the past. This time around, Edo Queens will be going again to see if they can qualify to the Women's Champions League. Amara has talked about the team and the depth of the team. For the opponent, Ampem Darkoa, AS GNN, ASEC Mimosas, do you think Edo Queens can pick that ticket against all odds going into Burkina Faso?
Well, I think at this point in time, we all know that there's no team that should be underrated based on what we saw with the Super Falcons at the WAFCON. I know Edo Queens too will be reeling from that, knowing the fact that if the mother body has done that mistake, they should not do that mistake. And believe you me, these are worthy challengers. The likes of Darkoa, the Ghanaian team, fantastic team on their day, and they can always cause an upset. So I think the Edo Queens side would not underrate them, despite the fact that those sides are very good sides, because if you underrate them, definitely you pay for it. As we've seen at the WAFCON, there are no small teams anymore, and it would always reflect even in the club competitions as well, because these are where the players are being formed. Majority of these players that play at the WAFCON play, with their home sides, and with their own club sides are not even at the international level. So basically, it would always also show in the competitions as well. So for me, I think not underrating any side would be key for Edo Queens to actually win this. Yes, they can. They have the quality, like Amara mentioned earlier on. They have the quality. They have new players coming to the side. Adeguyi in the side for Edo Queens, fantastic talent. Super addition, fantastic forward, can always cause an upset. But at the end of the day, I feel the players not underrating them, and also coming into play as soon as possible, very key for them to win the tournament as well.
All right, Amara, before I let you go, I want to ask, yes, the Nigerian team have not won. Okay, I think Bayelsa Queens won bronze. Late Domo Okara was the coach of Bayelsa Queens when they won bronze at the Women's CAF Champions League. How far or how close is any Nigeria women's team towards getting the title of the CAF Women's Champions League?
Even the team should probably do that. I think Edo Queens have what it takes, playing wise, because when it comes to experience in terms of coaching, I think Aduku is very, very experienced. If they qualify for the CAF Champions League, I think he knows how to make his players play good football. You watch them in 2024 when they went on all the way. Yes, losing to TP Mazembe, it was a very difficult one. But then they have a core of players that can do well in the big stage. And you look at teams that play in the CAF Champions League, look at ASEC Mimosas, their first time ever last season, going all the way to the final. So if a team should probably get close to winning the CAF Champions League, probably is Edo Queens. But there's something funny about the WAFU-B, the fact that in the past 5 editions since it started in 2021, the Nigerian team have always went to the final. We've won it once, and then the next season we finish in runners-up. So I think last time we finished, Bayelsa Queens finished runners-up. I guess maybe this is time for Nigeria again to win the WAFU-B.
All right, thank you so much, Amara, Obah, for your time. We look forward to an exciting competition for Edo Queens and hoping that they progress to the next phase, which is the CAF Women's Championship program. That's, of course, winning the WAFU-B. Thank you so much for joining.